There you go.
All right, so like Sharon said, I am Brittany and I'm your tax instructor through the Cash Coalition and United Way, which is United Way. They hire me to come in and basically help you guys get certified for preparing taxes. So this season, this season we're going to be doing the basic with you guys. You are more than welcome to do the advanced, which is going to be a little bit later on in the month. I also have a whole different slide for advanced, just like I'm about to show you today. So we'll go ahead and get going on the basic training. It is not going down.
Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. Oh, there we go.
Okay. So what to expect, an overview for the tax prep volunteer and your basic certification and important tax information that you'll need to become a basic preparer we'll go over. If you have any questions through this, please feel free to ask. A reminder, just so you're aware, you do have to take those two the standards of conduct and the intake interview and quality review certifications before you're even able to open up basic. If you don't take them, you can't get into the basic. What to expect as a volunteer. You have legal protections. You can't be sued. Nobody can come after you. If there's an accident, we can always amend. It's not that big of a deal. Don't stress. We're here to help. You never have to prepare alone. I'm here at peace during normal business hours and after. Ralph is here. He is like Sharon likes to call him, the tax guru of peace. And then Sharon's also here to help as well. So there's multiple people you can come to and ask. Your safety is our top priority. Here at Peace, you don't have to talk to a client in person if you don't feel comfortable. There's always other people here to do that. We have hand sanitizer, masks, if you're worried about COVID. We have sanitary wipes. You can wipe down your keyboard and whatever else you feel more comfortable doing. I do want to go over that the basic test is more challenging than what you will see here at our site as a basic prepare. It's not typical that some of the test answers in there that you'll ever have to come across here. I think the most challenging part of it is sometimes you get somebody with 8 W-2s. You got to type in 8 W-2, like that's the extent of it. At VITA, we need proof of passing your various certifications, which we went over in the intro. There's a tax alert binder. If you're just not sure, you hear, you know, there was a new tax law that was passed in the middle of the season, which has happened. You can go to that tax alert binder, which will be right next to where you sign in for your in-kind hours, and volunteer. You can just look at the new tax, anything that was passed or changed. Here at Peace, we do ask that if you are certified as a basic preparer, that you do 10 tax returns for the community. So that's 10 tax returns that's not a family member or yourself. Like I had mentioned before, we do get the credit for the in-kind hours and the community investment, and that helps us get grants to keep VITA running. All right, so what to expect on your basic certification test. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to skip this right here, the link learn taxes for a second, and just go through a little bit of the initial. You have 2 attempts to pass. You have to have 24 out of the 30 questions correct. Like we had mentioned before, you still have to complete that volunteer standards of conduct and interview quality before the basic test will open. Some initial basic questions that do not include a full practice return. A few scenarios follow that do require you to complete a return based on provided scenarios, which is the practice lab. We will be, that's why I skipped for a second. We're gonna go ahead and go to the link learntaxiscertification.com. So if you can go ahead and click on that for me. So if you are returning, the username from your practice lab last year does come through. You just have to hit forgot password and reset it. If you're new, you have to set it up. So what you're going to do is on that main page where we basically created that account, you're going to go under quick links and there is a practice lab button.
Okay, so hold on a second.
Yep.
So if you're already signed in, we actually have to sign you out.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah. So if you're in where you take your testing, which was a good point that Sharon just mentioned, that we have people here, you have to sign out and get back to that main page where you had clicked to create the account. So if you're in, let's say I'll sign in under Sharon right now because it's right there. If you're on this page, you have to actually sign out to get to the practice lab. So we go to quick links and then practice lab. Mine just said the internet connection was unstable.
I'm unstable.
I just signed into that.
Nope.
No, we don't want you to
Nope,
sign in.
we don't want you to
Just showing
sign,
you.
just sign off. Click the sign off up in the top. Yep. And then under quick links, there's a thing called practice lab. So it's gonna take you to this right here in all caps. It's always gonna be train pro web, like train, like the choo-choo train.
You said train pro
Web, yep, all caps, all one word, all caps, train pro web.
Okay, say that in your. Go down.
Pro, P-R-O, web, yep, W-E-B.
Oh, I guess we don't have it in here.
Yep, go ahead and log in. No, don't ever save your password to,
They don't have.
These
to create
computers.
accounts, these people here.
huh?
They have to create.
Yep, I'm going to show that right now. So, like I said before, if you have a practice lab, you're returning, you can use your username and your password. If you forgot your password, you go down here, forgot your username. If you have not created an account, go ahead and hit that create account and just start filling it out. If the username comes up red, that means somewhere in the VITA program all over the US, somebody has that username. You just have to keep on trying until you get a username.
Write it down. It's something you're gonna need to
Yep,
know.
and the password has to be like some crazy, like 17 characters or something like that. It's,
So then I can't use the same one that I used for that test.
You can use the same password and stuff. I usually say to people to try to like,
it has to be, this has to be a certain amount on this one. And I think it's like 17 characters. It's pretty long.
than just a weird random number. But write it down, because you will need to go do this to go back to any practice things.
Yep. So I'm just trying to get you guys created in the account right now, and then I'm gonna go back to the basic tax preparation slides so I can get through those, and then we will go ahead and switch back to the practice lab. Yes. Yep. The program type is gonna be VITA. You do not need a site identification number to go through. So if you click down, it's gonna be VITA and you're just gonna click that. Yeah, unfortunately, they have, everything is a password username. So that we, and when you get into tax layer, you're gonna have here, when you're actually preparing, you're gonna have a username and you're gonna create a password. So unfortunately, it's just to prevent your information or anything happening, getting out. So, Colby and Bob, I'm not as sure where you guys are as far as creating the account. So if you could just let me know if you're all set, if you need help.
You're all.
Yep, just about to do that right now. So.
Okay.
Okay, give us just a second. First is that username. Okay, so that's available, so you can create your password.
Yep, they're creating, yep, they're creating their account now.
This is like the longest struggling part.
Creating your accounts, I think, is harder than actually doing the actual stuff, to be honest with you.
So it's gonna be a password must be containing a minimum of 15 and a maximum of 25, at least one upper, one lower, a number. And stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's 15 characters, one upper,
Between 15 and 25.
yep, between 15 and 25, one upper, one lower, one number, and one special
That's why
character.
sometimes I say it's easier to do a phrase.
Like mine is a phrase from a movie, my favorite movie. It's the easiest way to go about it. Like some people do Star Wars with number and a, you know, favorite movie, something that's specific to you. Unfortunately, I'm a little weird, so mine's weird.
We're all a little quirky.
Probably. Yeah, so, right? Like you're the oddball. I agree.
All right, I'm all set here.
Okay, perfect. And then Bob, you are muted, so I'm not entirely sure where you're at here. Okay. See your.
Olivia and special character, like an explanation for me.
I can see a picture of a house, but I can't hear you. There we go.
I've logged into both Lincoln
Perfect.
Learn and Pro Slayer, Tax Pro Slayer. I created a practice tax return for Pro Lab A, for Practice Lab A, and I'm ready to do it for Practice Lab B.
Perfect. We're gonna get to that in a few seconds. Thank you so much. All right, so you guys are all set? Okay. So I'm gonna actually go back to the slides for a second here and just you can just follow along with me on the slides and then we'll come back into this exact sign in for the practice labs in a few seconds here. So what I've done to make things a little bit more simple for you guys is in your test booklet, the 4012. I have went ahead for your 6744 is your test booklet. Your 4012 is where you're going to find the answers. This is like your Bible basically for tax law for the IRS. Okay. And then the 6744 is where you find the answers. That's going to this has your intake, your standard, your basic, and if you want to go further to advanced, this is also where you'll find the advanced, okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
The books you can keep, you can also.
You
find
can
the
write
hard
in,
copies.
yep,
Um,
do whatever you want.
some people like hard copies, some people like to have a book in hand. And other people, you can look at this, you could go IRS, publication 4012.
And
All
it'll
that
come up.
information's on our website to link you there. So
Okay.
You won't need it.
So what I did is for basic scenario 1, there's 2 questions with multiple, you can, pick. I think it's like A through D, you have to pick an answer. So the first one is about filing status. You're gonna go ahead and go to section B, which is filing status. You're gonna go to page 12, and that's where you're gonna find the answer. No.
So,
So-
I was gonna say at the same time, we'll just go through these
Yep.
slides real quick. Cause you have the slides. These slides are also available on our website.
Yep.
Go and look for reference.
So each scenario has usually up to 7 has 2 questions with multiple choice. So if you are on basic 4, you're gonna say who should file for that first question. You're gonna go to section G, page 6 or 7, when you're actually looking to do your basic test. Now, where it changes is scenario 7. There are gonna be questions that you have to, this is your practice lab for your testing. There's gonna be questions where you have to actually read the 1040, and we'll go over that today and when we do our mock practice lab on things that will be helpful on where you can find things. I did give you a page number on the 1040 and a specific line or in between lines on how you can find these answers and it be helpful. There is 9 scenarios. There's 30 questions. You have to get 24 of those right. You do have twice. If you fail twice, you have to go through and recreate a whole nother account with a different email. So that way you can take the test.
That's why you want to send it.
So, like we said before, don't stress. The IRS does design these questions to be a little bit harder than what we typically see here. Most of our tax returns here are extremely basic, just W-2s. If you go into advanced, that's a little bit more, but anything on a basic level is pretty simple and the software does it for you.
Which document are you sharing?
So we're gonna do practice return B.
Oh, I'm gonna go and email, I don't think it's up on our website yet.
It is not. Our
So-
website's being updated,
Toby
so.
and Bob, I'm gonna go to my office really quick and email it to you, okay?
You emailed it to me earlier today. I have it. Thank you.
Okay, Colby, I'll go do it for you.
He said perfect. I got a thumbs up. So. These are for returning taxpayers. If you're returning here, this is just giving you the different tax changes that have happened for this year that are different from the previous year. If you're new to this means nothing for you. This is gonna be what you're learning right now. This isn't gonna be anything different. We will try to update this throughout the tax year, so if you're need an answer, you can go back to these slides and look if you're not able to get a hold of somebody or we're all busy at the second and you think you can, it's on here, you know it's on here. All right. So the practice labs can be found on the Peace Inc. website. Right now, unfortunately, our website is being updated. So practice B and C are not there. Sharon is actually going to email the 2 people that are on Zoom with us right now, the practice lab, so you're able to join in today. We are doing basic B. If you choose, you can come here and take advantage of our dual monitors to take your testing. You can have, if you like to read it online, your 4012, you can have it on one screen and you can have your practice lab on or your testing on a whole different screen. It's same with your practice lab. That way you can help find answers and stuff. Dual monitors are amazing for that purpose. We actually have the hard copies, which you saw earlier of the 4012 and the 6744. You're more than welcome to come in and pick those up at any time that we're open this week and next week, except for Monday, we are open 9 to 3:30. If you don't think you can make it in, just let us know. Either email Sharon or you can email myself at Brittany, .wilma@peace-caa.org. And I will get that and I can, make time to be here to get those to you.
You say about picking up something.
You're actually here, so you have the 6744 test booklet and the 4012 underneath your glasses right there. Yep, so those are what I'm talking about picking up. This is just a chart on people who must file. This is just gonna help you determine, standard deductions and based off their filing status. This is a determination of filing status tree.
But
This-
that- Again, isn't that the software does that? though?
Nope, you have to actually know that, and we'll go through that in the practice lab. So here, this will help you determine if they're married, if they're been never married, if they're head of household, if they're a qualified widow. You just, if it's no, you follow the no arrow. If it's yes, you follow the yes arrow. And that's based off the information that they give you. Who qualifies to be head of household? This is a little bit complicated. It's a single individual with dependents under the age of 17. There is an exception to the rule. The dependent is either a full-time student in a college or university, disabled, and you support more than 50%. That exception to the rule is if you are married and your spouse is in jail, just up and disappeared, you have no idea where they are, you're not legally separated yet. If you have a dependent under the age of 17, if they did not live in the house more than 6 months of that current tax year that you're filing for, you can file head of household. You do not have to do married filing jointly or separately. It's a qualification to allow parents where the spouse just disappeared or is in jail, which happens quite frequently, especially here, we have a lot of people that have that happen, for them to be able to at least get a credit and not be penalized on their tax return. This is interview tips for filing status. This is all in your 4012. So this can all be re-looked at as much as you guys want. Dependents, if you do the yes, no, this will tell you whether they're a dependent or not, if they can qualify as a dependent on the tax return. So what's next? This is the additional practice labs that we're gonna, you have in your test book and that we have the mock practice labs today. That's what we're gonna do. Everything is gonna be uploaded to our site on Peace. And then you just need to go ahead and take your certifications to get certified. If you want, you can go ahead and set up a meeting time before you take the test. And we can go over your answers and I can sort of kind of say, hey, maybe you want to take a look at scenario 6, question, it's like 15 or something like that. That means that's probably wrong and you may want to try again before you go ahead and take that test. So now we will go ahead and get back to the practice lab screen here. No, I think I figured it out. So you're gonna go ahead and sign in on that practice lab here. And and I know, Colby, did you get the email from Sharon? Okay,
Yep, I did.
perfect. So that's the practice lab we're gonna do. It should be, Mike and Edie.
Yep.
Perfect. And I know, Bob, you said Sharon had emailed it earlier, so. Oh, Sharon did want me to mention, we did have a question here. You do have to certify annually. So this year you're certified up to your advanced or to basic. If you choose to go on to advanced and certified, that's fine. But whatever you get certified up to is for the year. Next year you have to start all over again with testing. But once you're signed up with all these usernames and passwords, you just go in and use those. So that was the hardest part, is if you're new, just getting the sign up done. So every year you have to recertify. It's an IRS requirement. So go ahead and sign in for me.
You're all signed in.
Hopefully my nails didn't go ahead and randomly type buttons here. The practice lab home, you're gonna just hit go to practice area. And we are on this screen right here, this main screen is what you are going to see as a tax preparer when you actually sign into TaxSlayer. You're gonna see start a new return. Let's say, you had to go to the bathroom and you hit save and exit up at the top. And you're like, oh, how do I get back into it? You're gonna go here or even in your practice lab. Because you're not testing, you're just doing the practice lab to write the answers in. You have to leave for the day or something and you say save and exit, you get out of it. You're gonna go right here to this client search. And guess what? Here they all are. This is all the practice labs. I have a lot more than you guys are gonna have.
You're not gonna go in that yet. She's
Not
just
yet,
showing
I'm
you.
just showing you.
You don't have anything right now.
Yep. So this is where you're going to get it back into a tax return if you have to, okay? So you're just gonna obviously hit the back button up there, just get back to that main page. So we're gonna start a new return. Go ahead and hit select on that new return. So Mike and Edie do not have social security numbers that were on here. We're gonna make those up. So just make sure that they're just not the social security numbers of the children. I do have to state, because this goes on YouTube, everything in our practice lab scenarios are fictitious. Nothing is real. No social security numbers, no addresses. We actually use our main hub for Peace, our main office's address for their address.
So you
So
said you use these numbers or not use these?
Not use the don't use.
don't use the children. So we're,
Fictitious children numbers.
yeah.
Everything's made up just for training purposes.
So go ahead and just put like 900 tab, like 1234. You're just gonna make up social security numbers that are not realistic in real life. Like 900, I don't even think that truly exists.
Like
I mean,
under-
I don't know, but
If you look up a fake W-2, there's like X's with some numbers afterwards. You can do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 3, 4.
yeah, I just do random social security numbers.
No.
Because realistically, when you do look at that W-2, how it's Xed out with the last 4 is there for, Mike.
10 children.
You're not gonna see that on an actual W-2. They block all social security numbers out. You're not able to see that. So you're actually gonna have the social security card number. If you look in your 6744 under a practice lab, under the scenario, they give the social security numbers. Okay?
Which are fake again.
Yes, they are fake. That's from the IRS. They make their own fake stuff up. So we're gonna go ahead and start the return. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and read the scenario, and then we are going to determine what they're gonna file as. So Mike and Mazurki and Edie Adams wish to file as married filing jointly. Mike is a maintenance employee with the Syracuse School District. Mike wishes to contribute to the Presidential Election Fund to support public funding of elections. Edie is a part-time legal secretary. They are claiming 3 dependents, with the oldest Oliver, who finished his 2nd year of college. It lists the children's names with fake social security numbers. Mike and Edie's tax invoice for their home for property was $1,200, for county and school was $2,000, with a star savings of $320. Yes.
Can we write on these?
Yep, they're yours. You can go ahead.
Rob he uses our old time movie stars.
Yeah.
So he'll use some scenarios like that and.
So you'll notice some of the, Ralph likes the older movies, so he takes names of
Classics, right? Ralph?
Uh,
Classics.
stars from classic movies and uses them. At the end, it's their bank, they want direct deposit, it gives the bank, it's a checking account with the routing and account number, which we will go over. So based off from the scenario, if we flip to the 614-C in part 2, marital status, if you look right in the middle, if you flip that page. I don't know if you guys can see, like, it gives a scenario. We're going to that yellow form. Yep, the intake form. If you go to part 2, marital status and household, they actually clicked that they're married and they did live together within 6 months. So they're going to be filing jointly. We're gonna go ahead and click that.
Well, sometimes it's easy to read through this real quick, just to make sure you have everything you need.
Yep,
Married, filing jointly.
yep, married filing jointly. You're gonna go ahead and this is basic like data information. You're gonna put their name in there, their birthday. You can find all of that on that 614-C. You're gonna get pulled off the birthdays, the address, all that information off from it.
So is that all the click and then you say continue?
Yep.
Just remember, this is just a practice lab, you can't break anything.
His birthday's 3/14/64. Where am I here? His occupation is maintenance. Earlier in the scenario, if it said there's like boxes underneath his name. It said he wished to contribute to the election fund. You're just gonna go ahead and click that box, taxpayer wishes to contribute $3 to the presidential election fund. Let's say you have a taxpayer who's blind. This is where you're gonna click taxpayer is blind, taxpayer is deceased, if they're qualified widow status. This is where you're gonna find that information. Blind, yes, they have legally.
Like, I am.
No, yeah, it has to be by a doctor legally blind.
Not like when it says disabled, well, my leg hurts. You know.
Yeah, you have to be legally disabled. Blind, if they say they're blind and you happen to see their license, it tells you if you're legally blind on your license. Most people who are legally blind come in with somebody, or they come in with their walking stick, or they're like this close, or they're asking you to physically help them. So I think we have like one person who comes in here and actually needs, even though he can see like black and white, it's only straight. He doesn't have peripheral vision and it has to be like right up on him. So, but he's considered legally blind. You're gonna go ahead and put the spouse in. And if you notice, it autofills the last name. You have to change the last name. You have to pay attention to last names because not all kids have the same last name.
And some spouses don't either. They
Nope.
keep their married name.
They may keep their maiden name and not take the married name. It's very common nowadays. Fake social security number, just put whatever in there. (1974). Her occupation is a legal secretary. Where am I? No, it doesn't, no. A lot of people just hit the caps button and just leave it on while they're doing it. It's something that was It used to be a thing, but now it's not. But you'll notice a lot of people just put the caps button on.
And make sure that we're using their legal name, the one that's on their,
Social
Security
security
card.
card.
not like, I'm.
So if it says James Oliver, but he says Jimmy on the paper, it's whatever's on that social, it's James.
So it doesn't matter what's on their ID either.
Is her-
No.
Social security
It's
card.
social security card.
That's what the IRS is gonna accept.
Make up a number for her. social-
Yep, make it up. So you're just gonna go ahead and put that address in. So you can also abbreviate like South Salina, you can put S Salina. You might have to actually do that when we're doing a W-2 if it doesn't autofill. You have to abbreviate because it only accepts a certain amount of characters. No, only him. He is only, but if it says husband and wife want to, that's when you would click it.
On here, it shows. On that form.
They did give a phone number on there. It's one of Peace's phone numbers, I believe.
You spouse.
And then the secondary is his wife's. Now, an email, you'll see on, 12 under part 1 on that intake review quality sheet, some people actually do want notifications from the IRS. You would just put their email here. We don't invite people to the portal. They have to come in and get their tax return. So don't ever put an email address here. Just put it under primary client or secondary client, dependent if their spouse and they give it to you. That's so the IRS can contact them for some reason through email. I would never do that. They will physically send a notification in the mail. That's the only way I would answer to anything. We're gonna go ahead and click continue when you are off that. Is everybody okay and caught up to the dependent page after continuing? Okay. Yep, we're just waiting on one other person here and then we will go ahead. I know. It's a good thing you're here.
If there's a department, make sure you put a department. It's more important, especially, well, it's important to have the right address anyways, but it's really, really important when they review it to make sure the address is correctly if they're sending a paper check. Because if
Yeah.
they send a paper check, you gotta get, there's a department, place and all that stuff. So, it's one of those things that watch that autofill.
And don't ever take it off their license. Always take it off that intake review. Because their license, people don't update their addresses if they move. So always use that intake because that is the most up-to-date information that you have on someone.
Doing all this stuff.
No, this is the group, yeah.
So if you want, Sharon's gonna help the other person. We're just gonna go ahead and hit yes on dependents because we do know they have them. So this is where you're gonna put those dependents. Now, we know on that 13614-C, you have Cherry, Abby, and Oliver. It gives their birthday, who they are in relationship, daughter, son. They lived in the home 12 months. They are all citizens. They are all residents. They are all single. Oliver, it should say no, yes. Oliver is the only one in college. They are not permanently disabled. And the parents do more than 50% of the income, and none of the kids make over the $4,700 income level. So we're gonna go ahead and put them all in. The social security number, the fictitious social security numbers are on the front there underneath the kids. So go ahead and do that. I do want to mention, pay attention to the last names. Because it looks like the kids have different last names.
Well, Ralph was making up his scenarios, you were trying to make up the real life scenario.
Yes. Like Sharon was saying, real life scenarios here, we have a lot of mothers with children that have taken her last name or maybe a failed relationship and they had another child, or they remarried and had another kid with their new husband.
Like that.
Yep, things just happen in life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So was this was this individual a US citizen? Yes. This is their daughter. You're going to click daughter. It automatically defaults to 12 months. Now, remember how I said there's an exception to that rule when you see that? Some people may have a new baby. Last year, let's say it was December 2nd, 2023. The IRS recognizes your pregnancy. It's all 12 months. So if you got pregnant in January, guess what? If you had the baby in March, it's still 12 months. Your pregnancy is recognized. That baby,
The baby's not out yet.
only in New York State.
Okay.
So the IRS considers your pregnancy, the 9 months, as part of residency.
If she is pregnant.
Yeah,
If she's pregnant. So in order to claim, okay, so let's say you're pregnant all the way up to December 31st, 2023. That child is still considered living in the home 12 months because they consider your pregnancy. You went to full term, you had the child, they are in your house. But let's say you missed the deadline of December 31st, 2023, and you have the baby January 1st, 2024, you cannot claim that child because the child was not born in that tax year, the current tax year you're claiming.
Right, so not while they're pregnant, right, the baby's born.
So you would claim them on your 2024 taxes, not your 2023 taxes, okay? So they have to be born within that current tax year. So it'd be 2020, we're talking about 2023. They have to be born in 2023. This is where, so Cherry does not have anything here. She's not disabled. She's not in a full-time education. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can save and enter another, or you can hit continue. Just go ahead and type in all the children here. Thinking save and enter a new one is okay. That did work this time. I apologize. It was just slow.
It's okay, you can be your OCD self. So you can do that. All right, go ahead and do the next job. We're all over it.
So Oliver's where you're gonna check that box for in a over 18 in an higher educational institution, and that is important. Yes, this is the daughter. I always hit continue because I don't like the little red things that pop up. What just happened here? I'm sorry, mine's acting a little weird. I think it's our network here, so I apologize. And then Oliver. His last name is McCursey, and then birthday 5/1/2004. Social security number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2. Yes, this is their son. This is the box that I said, because he's in an educational, check all that apply. You're gonna check that box that this person over 18 under Oliver. And that he was a full-time student at an educational. So is everybody's children in? Yes, okay, almost. All right, we have 2 more people that are finishing up here, and then we'll continue. I like to tell people it's data entry. If you can read, you can put it in, you're good.
And so for Oliver, check the first one. This
Yep.
person was up.
Yep,
So
because,
14 and 22.
yep, he is a full-time student. And then you're just gonna hit continue because you don't have another dependent. If you have all 3 in, you're just gonna hit continue and it's gonna bring you to this page right here. So if you ever, let's say like you hit that continue and you had another child, you just have to hit that add a dependent or qualifying child. You can always get back in and add and delete, and here's the delete button. You could edit in case you like mess something up by accident. You can always edit.
If there's ever more.
Oh, on the notes section on that, it's not printed on here. There's a 3rd page to this, that yellow form. And it says, like notes or, additional information. There'll be more children there. You will see it here. Like I had explained, I actually have a woman who claims like 8 kids. And they don't all fit on there, so.
So now I have a list of the
Yep.
3.
Yep,
two-
just like this.
You look just like that.
You're just gonna hit continue. So, you're gonna hit continue again. If there's an identification pin, an identity pin for any person in the household, this is where you would go ahead and do it and then just put it under the name. Nobody here has one for this scenario, but some children, to prevent somebody from illegally claiming them, do come in with identity pins each year for their kids and themselves, and you would just put it underneath here. Okay?
Where are you talking about the one that says IRS identity protection?
Yep.
Mhm. None of
Yep.
our people in this scenario have them.
I'm just showing you where.
We had a number of people who ended up having to get identity pins for their children
Right
because during
here.
COVID, there was a lot of money on the table because of child tax credit and stimulus. So people were willy-nilly claiming all kinds of people they shouldn't have been claiming. So
There's identity pin
Yeah, that's-
protection theft, so you cannot, if you don't have that identity pin, let's say they forgot, right? Get all the way in, I check it, they sign it, that night I e-file it. Within, depending on how busy it is, within 15 to 20 minutes, I get a nice little notification, it was rejected, and it tells me this person has an identity pin that was not included in the tax return. I'll, no, you will not, Ralph, myself, Sharon, Joy, and Taisha will know if it's been rejected, and we'll go through and, call them on your guys' behalf.
they usually bring.
They
that-
bring it in.
A lot of them do. And some people, if they don't know, I help them get on to the, it's called IRS ID Me
Yeah.
and get their pins and stuff for them. They should get a letter, usually each year they get a letter reminding them what, every year their identity pin changes, their number changes to keep it safe.
And they get it in December, so to protect you, you can't file a tax return without it.
So it's like there was an identity theft-ish situation. So you got a pin, you reported that you had identity theft and now IRS is setting you up with an identity. There's like, sometimes there's data breaches and people
Yeah.
get identity pins automatically.
It protects your, okay, only if you assign it. So like, let's say like,
No, if you request a signature.
yeah, you have to request it from the IRS. So like, let's say like, I got divorced from my husband and I have full custody. I'm the one who has the kids more, I claim them. But he claimed them before I could get my tax return in. They prevent that identity pin, each person gets their own one, prevents him from being able to claim under that social security number. That's what it's designed to do. Yes, you have to
I've
request.
helped many people request it.
It's not
especially, like I
hard.
said, After COVID, people who were no longer in people's lives suddenly became a parent again to claim that money.
You mean the filer?
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Mhm.
Yep. The filer has to request it. We have helped people set up and fill out the paperwork, but filer has to request it for their children and themselves. All right, so we're now on the income page. We're gonna go ahead and click on that W-2. If they're single, you don't have to worry about this, but if they're married, you have to say who it belongs to. So go ahead and flip the page again.
These people are there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. So what you're gonna do is get to that W-2, the first W-2. Go one more page. It's on the back of that one, right there. And you're gonna click this belongs to Edie Adams. You're gonna put the identification number, which is the EIN 146013200. It's the state of New York. So sometimes they do auto pop. Just make sure the address is correct, who it belongs, that it is the state of the New York and everything's correct.
You're talking about entry D. The.
Yep,
employer-
EIN.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because if it's a VIN in our system, it may auto-populate. and-
Yep.
something.
And if the IRS recognizes it, like it's not a new EIN that year, it'll pop up. You'll notice a lot will pop up when you're doing it in our system because they're returning clients and they've been at the same job for years.
So
Which is,
you need to fill in.
Yep.
put that-
Yep. Just make sure it's correct on your screen. You're gonna go ahead, scroll down until you see, 1, wages, tips, and other compensation. You're just gonna follow the numbers and just fill it in. So it's gonna be 18500. Box 2 matches box 2. You're gonna go ahead and do 925. Like I said, they do auto-populate sometimes, and this is where it gets a little tricky. 3 and 5 are different than 1. You really need to just make sure those boxes are matching what it says. Whole numbers, round up, round down situation. If there's cents in there, if it says like $1,147.68, you're gonna go to 1,148. If you put the 68 cents in, they'll catch it. The system will, and it'll automatically round up, round down for you, just so you're aware. 12A, there is, a code D. That's gonna be 3,000. If you're ever wondering what the codes are, just look at the back of the W-2. If you have the physical copy, or you can look it up. I always get code D and code DD, so don't quote me. One is health insurance, and I think that's code D, and I think DD is retirement. No, like employee. What's D again, Ralph? Compensation. Okay, so I did have a mixed up. DD is health and D is 401k. I always look at the back of the W-2 to see the codes.
I don't want to put New Jersey SDI.
No. So this New York SDI is gonna be other. Just go ahead and hit other. And it's 31. If there's more, okay, so let's say there's more in box 14 and there's not a code there for it, you have to add underneath other. You have to add them together because they're not allowing 2 others to be on there. It used to be, you used to be able to select and hit other and then put the amount on there. They no longer allow that. So if there's the New York SDI and let's say, what's another really New York compensation, let's say, and there's 140 there, you're just gonna add the 140 and the 31 together. Just click your state, New York.
And this is where it's important, if it says another state, let's figure out what the time on this, but you said you lived in New York State all year.
And
long.
if it doesn't say New York State, stop there because you guys are basic preparers. Say, hey, we have an issue. You cannot do out-of-state returns as a basic. You have to be advanced. You can only do New York State. 146013200. Income tax 370. You're gonna go ahead and scroll to the bottom and you can say save and enter another, or you can hit continue and then go to the top where it says add another W-2. I like to hit the continue and add a W-2 wage statement. My system's acting a little weird here on the internet, so it was just easier. We're just waiting for everyone to catch up a little here. But if you feel comfortable adding that second W-2, go right on ahead. For Mike, just make sure you click who the W-2 belongs to.
How about the control number?
Mm,
How do you know if there's one of those?
it would say it on the W-2, but you don't usually have a control number. That's something on the back end at like your payroll department. That's something your company has, not you as the employee. Is everybody on their second W-2? Not yet. You are, okay.
Sometimes you hit it. It's just, we're just filling out a income tax form.
Literally.
Just like the ones that I fill out.
Yeah. Yep.
Myself.
Yep. If you've done your own tax return for basic, except for like little things like maybe an educational credit, a 1098T or something like that, you can do, it's just like that. You're basically filling it in like you would do for yourself.
Okay, so now this is real funny. The social security tax withheld is different than the automatic pop-up thing.
It should say 1147. If it doesn't, change it to what it says in the box. Are you on the first one or the second one? Look at box 3 and 5. The numbers aren't the same as box 1. So if you don't change box 3 and 5, 4 and 6 will not be right. Because as soon change box 3, you'll see box 4 change. Change box 5, you'll see box 6 change. Are you on your second one now, hon? Okay, perfect. Just make sure you hit that mic because it belongs to Mike.
So sometimes they may have something that's pre-tax taken out, like I have my health insurance taken out pre-tax. So that's gonna change some of my.
$3,000 difference, when they put in 3,000 for the state IRA or whatever it was.
Sometimes some of the different things are, so it's something maybe pre-taxed or something.
Just because it auto populates, you still have to check because if you have like tips put on there, like Social Security might be different, or like Sharon was just saying, if you have pre-taxed money, it will be taken out of your Social Security and Medicare because it's not taxed. So it'll be a lower number than box 1.
It's data entry. It's what it really is in the beginning.
Do you guys have questions so far? Anybody? Okay. It's pretty simple. Like I had mentioned, it's data entry. As long as you follow along the boxes and make sure everything matches, you'll be okay. So code D.
Yep, sometimes there's more, sometimes there's 3 of them.
There is a retirement plan, so make sure you click on that awesome retirement plan in box 13. Box 14, remember how I said there might be 2 others? So United Way and New York SDI, you'll just combine them if there's not if you don't find it. But there is a 41H. I don't think there's a United Way, and there's not, so we'll go under other.
Even though this one's a New York.
Yeah, but in the thing you see, New York 414-414H in parentheses. That's what you would choose, because that matches the 414H.
So, there are 3 amounts. We should.
Yep, so you're gonna combine the New York SDI and the United Way. You're gonna add those together. So it's 231 under other. They used to allow more than one other. They don't anymore for some reason. Last year they changed that. It's a little inconvenient, but
I just wanted to.
I wouldn't have known.
I wouldn't have thought.
Oh, yeah, that's the other
This one,
level.
IRC, where's on here? the-
yeah,
the
it's,
IRC.
I know, it's the same. If it says 414H, just do the New York IRC 414.
It used to say C line 14.
And
Now just-
you know, that's our job as quality reviewers is to catch that. So just if you're not sure and you just put something, we'll catch it.
Something down here that says other.
That's our job to catch it.
So the SDI is actually the non-disciplinary.
I just put it under other.
It's- The family medical evac is.
Yeah.
under other.
I put SDI under other too.
Put cheat codes around on the different.
Yeah.
Computers for people reference, because there's so many codes.
There's too many codes to actually know. So like Sharon was just saying, for New York State, we'll put cheat codes. We'll even post them online for you guys if you're not in here, but they'll all be at the desks too. That way you guys can just look if you're not entirely sure. So we've gone ahead. We're gonna hit continue because now we have entered both W-2s. We're gonna hit continue again, and that's gonna bring us to our income page. So let's say you don't see, for some odd reason, as you're scrolling up and down this income page, you don't see unemployment, 1099-G, right? We all know it's right here. But if you go to this form finder, it is working now. If you type in 1099-G, it brings it up and you can just click on it. And it will bring you to the exact place you need to be. You're gonna go ahead and put add, edit 1099-G. Is everybody there? Need a minute?
Here's the next. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. We're gonna do the next page. My big deal, I'm gonna.
We're on the 1099-G is the next page. So if you're a little ahead right now, you can go ahead and begin that and enter that 1099-G information. This is New York State unemployment. You have to still enter the ID number. The payer's TIN is the federal EIN, basically. So you're gonna see EIN or payer's TIN. That's their identification number for whoever it's, you know, the company. Thankfully, they decided to have taxes withheld on New York and federal. We, especially during COVID, had a lot of people that did not choose to have taxes withheld, not realizing that, guess what, guys, it's income, it's still taxable. So this is where another thing as preparers, on basic that you need to be aware of. Uh-oh, I did something. Oh, if you ever type in something that's not correct, it's gonna error you. I forgot to mark who it was for, so you're gonna put ED Adams. If the person comes in and their only source of income was unemployment, they don't get earned income credit. It's not considered earned income. You have to actually physically have a job. No, they do, because it's income and they get taxed on it. But as far as the federal government is concerned, you will not get that EITC credit if you're eligible. It's not considered earned income. Even though they tax it. But you're not working. You're unemployed. You're receiving this benefit because you were laid off, whatever the case may be. You were let go. So like I was stating, when it gave me that awesome little error, if you mess up, it's gonna let you know why you messed up and where to go, why it did it. I didn't click ED Adams. You have to verify who is who on each form. And that's important too, because, let's say you have an injured spouse, you have to allocate certain things to certain people, and the IRS is gonna wanna see who made what, where. So. Has everybody put their unemployment in? You guys are all set, good. Ugh.
I have 6,100.
Do you guys have 6,000 something for federal on the side here?
No, I have 5415.
Yeah, so you should have 5,415. Check your numbers.
Come over there in just a second.
Well, the last time we did this, and that's why it's important, this was messing up and mine was wrong and everybody else's in the room was right. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody is on with my federal. We actually have a few discrepancies right now, so just want to make sure who has what. So everybody should be at the 5,415 right now.
I have something else, but maybe I've entered some forms you haven't gotten to yet, so maybe that's why.
Okay, if you've already entered the tuition, that might be why. I'll go through and recheck mine just to make sure, but
Well, he's got 61.
yeah, me and Colby have 5,415. I'm hoping this,
5415, yeah.
we have 3 people with, so we have 3 people with 6146 and we have 3 people with 5,415. So that means the system's not doing what it's supposed to do. Hold on. Let me check my numbers just to make sure.
Well, you shouldn't be, because it's all the same practice, yeah. So some of the issues we've been having is,
The system is messing up.
it's new, it's just started.
I'm just checking mine just to make sure that what I have entered is correct. And then that way we know, you know,
They're
obviously.
in the process still doing some updates, so.
We have like a 6 million page long list of things that they're still updating on this. And I don't know why they're not prepared and ready to go. So 100, 34300, 34300. Did you guys make sure on your second W-2 under Mike that 3 and 5 were changed? Under the W-2 of Mike?
Yeah, I have 3, 4.
Okay, I just want, okay. Just making sure there. 100 retirement plan. I don't know, it's gotta be the system again, so I do apologize. 3 of us have the 5,415 and 3 have 6,146. I am not sure as to why. How about that? This is
I'm
actually,
in the 6416 club.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I don't know what's going on. How about that? Because I just did this the other day and it's not matching up again.
I know this is 6, but they added like T, but on here, there's no change.
It's okay.
Yeah, it shouldn't make.
No, it doesn't make, it wouldn't make that much of a difference.
Okay, so
I'm just checking my unemployment now, 82.
check your social security tax withheld on, Mike's line 4. And line 6.
No, because all mine are in right, so,
No, we had some differences over here.
So for the people that got 6146.
okay, so it should say 2812, 2127 for social security tax for number 4. And then number 6 should say 497. You're good? Okay, so it's definitely a system. As long as you know, yeah. As long as you know your numbers are in there true and correct, it's the practice lab, and I do apologize, okay? We're gonna have a little bit of off numbers, but it's still gonna read the same when we go to read it. It's just gonna say some different numbers.
They're fixing
here.
all their quirky stuff.
I was in the actual program of TaxSlayer yesterday, and none of these problems exist. So when we actually do go to do a real tax return, this is not going to happen. So don't worry about that.
No, remember we said that they went to a new, so they're.
They're a new vendor and they're working out everything. I'm not entirely sure why they switched vendors, but it's been an issue since they
When you
switched.
say it's a new vendor, is the tax slayer the new vendor?
No, just the practice lab, just this, yeah.
Said it used to be Lincoln.
So,
Learn, Counseling, Learn.
In that form finder, we're gonna do that 1098T.
You know, you're gonna do this one.
I love the form finder because you can literally just type in what form you want and it brings it up. If it doesn't bring it up, there's a reason why. So you're gonna go ahead and hit 1098T. So you're gonna click Oliver because that's the one who has the 1098T. And there's a reason why Oliver, let's say Oliver was working a job, Oliver still can't claim his tuition because his parents are still 50% reliable. Even if he's living on campus in a dorm, he still comes home on vacation. He still maintains a residence at home. But let's say
It's considered temporary residence.
so college is considered, yeah, temporary residency if you live in a dorm. But let's say I'm in Boston, Massachusetts, going to Harvard. I work a full-time job. I have my own apartment. That would be the exception to the rule. Your parents can't claim you because you're fully supporting your own self.
I don't come home.
You don't come home, nothing.
What if we have still financial aid? That's what this.
That's what this 1098T shows. So we're gonna say yes to that. He did receive one from an educational. Did this student receive 1098T from the institution for 2022 with box 2 filled in and box 7 checked? So box 2 is not filled in, so box 7 should technically not be checked on this one. So just hit no for this. That was like, we missed that one as far as when it, because we just take these and put in false information. So sometimes we forget to delete something out. So if 2 is not filled in, box 7 should not be filled in. You're gonna go ahead and fill it out just like you normally would for a W-2. I do the employer's identification number first. only because sometimes it auto pops up. In this case, it didn't, but when you're actually in tax layer and you're using the EIN from like, let's say Onondaga, OCC, or Lemoyne over and over again, if you put that identification number in and click outside, it will auto populate the college in there for you. But for this case, it didn't. Just do 132,202.
Yeah.
Anytime, like you're gonna notice in your practice labs and your test booklet, it says use your state, YS, use your phone number, use, you know what I mean? Yeah. Cause this is a broad spectrum training for the IRS. So they have VITA sites in California, they have VITA sites, but they use the same booklets, the same, so it's your, YS is your state. I saw, one from
Anybody knows the zip code of it?
13202.
13202. We're just, it's for fictitious,
We're just putting stuff in there. There's no rhyme or reason. As long as it belongs to New York, we're okay. Once you have all of that information in, you're gonna hit continue. So I love this. This is new this year, and I love that they did this. So in years past, let's say your scholarship and grant was more than your tuition. So let's say we reverse those numbers. You used to have to subtract them, and whatever was left over, you would have to, if you didn't have other expenses, qualified expenses, you would have to consider that income and do other income. Because anything that, like, you know how some people get a check from their college? That's not free money. If you get a check back from your college, that's income. That's considered income.
Where does it
That's
show tuition paid?
so 1 in 5. So tuition paid is gonna be 1. That's your qualified tuition and related expenses. So you're gonna see in your practice labs in the test booklet, you're gonna have books, parking passes, food, stuff like that. You have to decide what is qualified and what is not. You have to then add that number to box 1 because it's not in there. Okay? Because some people don't get scholarships and stuff. So some people go, the cost of college is the 15,500, but that doesn't include your books. That doesn't include fees for labs or something. That's just to be able to go to take your courses.
Those expenses be where it says other qualified expenses, and it's 0 for this, right?
Right, that's where you would put that in if there's other qualified expenses. So you're gonna put your tuition in, which is the 15,500, and then the grant, which is number 5, is the 11,500. If there was other qualified expenses, you would put it underneath there.
Where would it show up in here?
It won't. They have to tell you if they had spent extra money on college books or fees for practice labs. You have to decide whether it's qualified or not. A parking pass on campus is not.
You're gonna see that. in
Food?
your exam. It's
Not.
answer.
Uh,
It'll tell you where to go.
Like a college meal plan is not. Your dorms are not a qualified expense. That's all out of pocket. Stuff like that, yeah. It's not a-
Continue.
Yep,
It says-
hit continue. Yep, that's perfect. You're gonna go ahead and hit continue for me until this American Opportunity Tax Credit eligibility. This is extremely important. So it says that he's finishing up his 2nd year. So that means he has not claimed the credit for 4 years. If somebody and you have to be careful, right? You have to ask them, how many years have you been in college? Because some people could be on their bachelor's degree and they failed and they still claim the credit. So you really need to know if they say, oh, I've been in college for 3 years. Is that the only 3 years? Yes. that means they still qualify. Once you get past that 4-year mark, it's automatic no. They are considered a graduate student and you can no longer get the American Opportunity. It becomes a lifetime learning credit, not an American. And there's a big difference as far as credits go. So you're gonna go ahead and hit yes. Was the student enrolled? It says in box 8 on your 1098T
Yes.
that they were. So
Does it
yes.
say yes, and it already has been signed?
No.
No. Has the, no, hit no. I'm sorry.
Second year of college.
Yep, so it's no, and then the second one is yes. I'm sorry, I hit the wrong one. So no for the first one, yes for the second one. Did the student complete the first 4 years of higher education? No, this is his second year. Did the student have a drug conviction before the end of 2023? This is a question that you have to ask. It's usually gonna be no. Because if you've been convicted in New York State of a felony, you can't get tuition assistance.
So in this case, we're putting no.
Correct. This is where it's nice, right? It breaks down what happens here. So clearly you see they get a $2,500 credit on the American Opportunity, right? So had they claimed the American Opportunity more than 4 times, you would click this instead of, you would click the lifetime learning credit instead of the American Opportunity credit. And you can see it's recommended for this one.
Oh, and the check mark is indicating
Which one you're doing, yep. Yep, and this is completely new. You used to have to honestly know this. Now the system is breaking it down. It's great. I love it. We're done with that. We're gonna hit continue, continue. And I believe we have one more form, which is your 1098T, which is your mortgage interest statement. You're gonna go to that form finder and put 1098 in. And you're just gonna hit that mortgage interest statement there, the 1098. So this is a little new this year too. Did you receive form 1098? If you're there, or is everybody there? Okay, you guys are? Okay, perfect. You're gonna go ahead and hit yes, hit continue. So unfortunately, we're not gonna know if this loan was secured by somewhere else. If it has a different address than the address on your 13614C, their actual address, I could call and be like, hey, what is this for? Because some people have rental properties. If they have a rental property, we can't do it. So if it doesn't match their home address, clearly and obviously it was used for something else.
They can do it, but. they
Not
can't do it on
here.
the home, not on the rental.
We can't do rental properties here, period.
Out of scope.
It's what the IRS considers it out of scope. So for this, we're gonna say yes, it was made to purchase their main home. You're gonna go ahead and fill out the lender's name. So Manufacturers and Traders Mortgage LLC is actually M&T Bank, just so you guys are aware. So I'm gonna put M&T Bank. Oh, it's not letting me. So just, oh, it's the and. The sign for it. So I'll just put in manufacturers. So there is limitations, like I said, you may have to do manufacturers, traders, MORT period, because there's only a limitation on, see, it's too many characters. You're gonna type in the mortgage interest received. You're just basically gonna follow 1 = 1, 2 = 2, anything that's filled out. There we go. So this is a little bit different, especially if you were here last year. This form's a little different. everything is on this page that, you're gonna need as far as, if you look at box 10, we're actually gonna do box 7 right now. Address, property, securing mortgage is the same as the address. You gotta click that. If you have to fill out 8, that's not their home. We're not doing that. So if it's not their home, they can't claim it. So box 7 should be checked. You go to box 10, you're gonna see real estate taxes. That is your property and school taxes. And here it's under 10 other, that's your real estate taxes. You're gonna hit the amount of 3,200 in there. Yep, real estate taxes, because that's what it is. It says taxes. If it says taxes, that's real estate taxes. Okay. And that's it. You're gonna just hit continue. You're gonna hit continue again. Yep, you check box 7. So here's the thing. Typically, a 1098, it does nothing on their taxes, okay? It used to be just if you were back in the olden days before we had a standard deduction, it was when you itemized. But a lot of people bring them in, and if they don't see it on their tax return, they get upset. So if a 1098 comes in, just put it in. And we do have quite a few people that own homes and bring it in. Just put it in. It saves you a headache, trust me. So now that we have filled out all our forms, we are going to just keep on clicking continue until you get to the health page, health insurance. Another fast way, let's say you have all your forms in, you have all your deductions in, whatever you have in front of you. You can go on to the left here and just hit that health insurance button and it'll bring it to the page. It is, but technically, if you're not familiar with the software and you wanna learn what things are, go through, read everything, just, especially on the practice labs. Cause you can't mess up on your, it's not real. You can't mess up on it. So typically, like I was saying, this is updating. Your state information is going to be in the beginning. As soon as you put that social security number in, it's going to say what state, New York, it's going to say what county, Onondaga, and what school district. That piece supplemental intake form for us is going to have the school district. If you're not sure, go, open a tab up in your browser, type in the zip code school district. It should pop up. Most of it's going to be the city of Syracuse. You're going to get like 13031 is West Jenny. We have a few Jamesville, DeWitt, but most of it's Syracuse.
The easiest thing is on the new form, the supplemental form.
Yeah.
there's County and school district on it.
And we mostly only do Onondaga County during the current tax year. Like while we're in the full swing. So January 23rd through April 15th is Onondaga County residents usually only. We make a few exceptions, but it's usually just us. So now after you hit that health insurance, you're gonna hit no, because this is not an advanced form. They do not have a 1095A. So it means nothing to you guys if that form's not in there. You're gonna hit continue. So the state section, like I said, it's in the beginning, but unfortunately they're updating. We're gonna hit add state. You're gonna choose your state, New York. You're gonna hit continue. They were, yep. So that TP 301, that New York State form, that's gonna tell you if they're a resident all year. On there, it says, were you a resident all 12 months? And and that's where you're gonna find if they're a resident. If they have like a W-2 or something, that states otherwise, like it's a different state. That's not in your scope of what you can do as a basic preparer. That automatically alerts you and says,
Of states, right?
yeah.
Okay. So this doesn't typically look like
You
this.
know. So this is gonna be helpful too. Let's say like you accidentally bypass the beginning, which can happen. You bypass that whole beginning of the state. This is how you actually add the state back in. Let's say you accidentally delete the state when you're in there. That happens. Like instead of hitting the edit button to get in there, you hit delete and it deletes. You can actually, this is how you actually add New York State back.
Where, can you go back?
Yeah. Return to the beginning of the state, yeah, return. So add state. You're gonna click down here, you're gonna go down to New York. And just hit continue. You're gonna hit resident, because they were all 12 months. Hit continue, and it should bring up the New York return.
No. Okay. We will walk through with you when you come to your basics. We'll walk through the first few with you anyways. We'll be here the whole time.
Yeah, you guys won't do this by yourself at first, you'll have somebody.
Because our software, it's the same software, but because it's already specified, it's not the practice lab, it's specified for us. We'll walk through things with you.
Yep.
It may look a little different.
So like I said, we have to add in that,
Because something's not matching here.
yeah, it's because this is off, some of our numbers are gonna be off right now, so I apologize. Right now, we're gonna go into basic information here and hit that edit. You see this awesome county button right here? You're gonna just hit Onondaga County, you're gonna scroll to Onondaga County.
Wait a minute, you did this.
Okay, so you're, all right, so
I did begin and it didn't go to that.
edit. Under basic information. Onondaga County. You're gonna do the school district. For this case, I know the 3-digit code, it's 631 for the city of Syracuse. And it'll pop up, but if you don't know the code, you just find it in that drop down. But I warn you now, it gives you all the schools everywhere, Canandaigua, Oriskany, everywhere. All of New York, except for New York City. Anything outside of New York City, it gives you.
It'll be written in one. tab.
Yeah, so we mainly deal with Onondaga County, and like I said, on that piece supplemental intake form, it says Onondaga County in the school district.
No.
We made it a little more simple this year. You're gonna hit continue. You're gonna scroll down and hit continue. Now, unfortunately, when you do that 1098T, it does not, you have to do it in the state too. So if there is a college credit, it's in the state too. So there was a $4,000 difference. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into credits here, hit begin. You gotta do the college tuition credit form IT 272.
Hold on. hold on.
Yep.
You gotta hit continue.
You can, when you're doing your practice labs and your thing, you're gonna get very familiar with it. I do need you guys to realize that your college tuition does not pull over to the state. You have to physically go in and do it. So remember how it said, like, when you click down, it said Lemoyne College 4,000. That's gonna be important, that $4,000 here. But let's say you forgot to write it down, or you forgot it, right? You're gonna go to your 1098T. You're gonna take that 15,500 minus 11,500, and that equals the 4,000. And that's,
Little check mark. Did
we're
you-
gonna
did you
do,
Remember to add in your real estate taxes. Did you remember?
yeah,
to
there's
add-
gonna be a lot of things we're gonna have next to your desks here and online that we can give you for tips, tricks, remembers, don't forget, stuff like that. So we're gonna do that IT credit. We go ahead and begin. Do you want to claim the tuition deduction as an itemized deduction? No, you want to take the credit. So go ahead and hit begin. Now here's the exception. Remember how I said, if you have more than a bachelor's degree, you don't do this. You stop. If you're a graduate student, you're in your master's, your doctorates, you don't do it in the state. It's only for associates and bachelors. You pick the student, it's Oliver. Student claimed as a dependent, yes. You put the college in there. I don't know how to spell Lemoyne, so let's go back here. Lemoyne College.
Yeah.
You put the EIN, which is on that 1098T, the 150545841. So the qualified college tuition expenses paid. Yeah. They continue and then back. And then back. Because that's what you paid outside of the grant. That's what you had to physically pay them. That wasn't covered by your grant money. So it's a little backwards for state. It's not hard, it's just, you just have to remember it.
Yeah.
You're gonna hit back. So we're all done in here. Oh, wait, no, we're not. Sorry. We have to do the property tax star credit. So we're gonna go scroll down to near the bottom, the second from the bottom, the real property tax relief credit. You're gonna go ahead and hit begin.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, they're the same.
Is everybody at the real property tax credit? Okay. You were a New York State resident all of 2023.
What are you on, Pete?
The IT 229. At the bottom, it's second from the bottom. Did you occupy the same residence for 6 months? Yes. We know based off the notes that they were eligible for star credit. You will see that on the school tax bill. If it says star, they're eligible, and it will say like a negative, or if they bring in like a coupon, like they'll set, like it's a blue piece of paper, they were star eligible. Yeah, it gets sent to them. Yep. Was any rent you received for non-resident? So this is really, really confusing. You're gonna put yes, because they don't rent their home. So you're just gonna put yes. Residence information, you're gonna go ahead and begin that. So days you resided in the property, 365. That's how many days we have. Leap year, remember? Yeah, this is gonna be weird. The allotment, the allocation percent is 100%. It's your property, you live there. That property tax that you paid was the 3,200 on that 1098T, so you're gonna put the 3,200. You're gonna enter the total amount star, which on the front said 320. So you're gonna put that here.
We add the property tax and the school taxes together.
Yeah, but it should equal the 3,200. Yep. So let's say like you don't have that on your, they bring in their property taxes and it's not on the mortgage interest statement, that 3,200, you just add school and property together. Cause it's two different forms that you get. It'll say property tax this amount. And then the different one will say school tax total this amount. Yep, add the two together for property tax, yeah. For the star credit on New York State, yep. So obviously it was the same address, so you're gonna go ahead and click yes, and everything underneath will disappear. You don't have to read. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Because you have two taxes. You have your
School
county
and
school,
property.
and
Some people actually have 3, just so you're aware.
If you're in.
If you're in a town, you're in a village, you have village tax. You don't want to live in a village if you can avoid it. And you're gonna go ahead and hit continue. We are now done with this. You're gonna hit continue. And we're gonna back out of it. We're gonna back out of it again.
It's a little awkward on the state parts, where you got back out, back out, back out.
Yeah, and then you're gonna just scroll to the bottom and exit New York return. And the numbers, I don't know why mine aren't changing. They should have changed, and I'm not entirely sure why. This is not good. It's not.
I think
It's not
half
right.
our room has your numbers and then the other.
Yeah, Yeah.
The other half of our room has a different number.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure what team everybody else is on up there.
so
Negative New York.
who's negative in New York on here? So Colby, you should be, correct?
So I can't see it on the side. I only see up top. I see the federal and that's it. I don't have a side.
You don't have the state?
Mm-mm.
All right, so there's definitely something wrong with this software. I'm not entirely sure why, because I just did this the other day and I actually got a refund of $246 and everything is the same.
We got 46 now.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on with this.
I can
The
verify
software.
the 1040s against
Yeah.
What we have too.
I just verified state on mine and I literally just did these yesterday, make sure they were true and correct. And I got a refund in state of 246 and then today it's showing a negative 173. So it's clearly a software issue because Sharon just checked some other people that have different numbers, like a refund of $46. Their numbers are correct. It's the software.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
We
going on.
included the 1040 of what we got the other day.
Yeah.
1040 is what the non-negative people got
Yeah,
from the other day. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know entirely what's happening with this, so I apologize in advance. The software is doing some funny things. I don't understand. It's okay.
It's
That
just a
doesn't
warning.
matter. It's
Oh,
just a
kinda like,
warning.
oh, make sure that you're checking. Oh,
Now that we've added the state, yeah, I don't understand what's going on, so I apologize now. We're gonna hit continue. So when you're in your practice labs and it says, look at your 1040, this is your 1040. You're gonna go up to this view print button up, right up in the top. It says view print. You're gonna click on it. So it'll generate and you're gonna hit print your 2023 tax return. This brings up everything but the kitchen sink. You're gonna scroll.
I got it.
Yep. You're gonna scroll down until you actually see the 1040
This is the 1040.
right here. So this is what you're actually gonna see here when it prints out. It's it shows total amount on forms W-2, 5,500 or 55,800, which
We have print.
I don't
sets set up here,
understand.
So you don't have to, it won't print out everything. It only print out what we actually need. We have to make sure those print sets are correct.
Yep. And then if you scroll down a little bit, so you can see line 2, that's your standard deduction that they get because they're married is the 27,700, which brings their total taxable income down to 32,200. It subtracts it off their AGI, their gross income. Okay. So that would be their taxable amount is 32,200. If you scroll down a little bit more, this is the second page. It breaks down your tax and credits. So your taxes for them should have been $3,427 on New York State, on federal. They got a child tax credit of 1,527. The amount from Schedule 3, line 8 is the 1,900. That's usually that's the other dependent and the American Opportunity Credit combined. So then you subtract them.
Yeah.
And you get a 0 liability here.
Yeah.
So right
So
now.
I still only see your print screen, Brittany. I don't see the document.
Oh, no. You don't see.
Excellent.
All right, let me click out of here and let me see. Do you see the print your 2023 tax return and then it comes up?
I see the print your 2023 return, but after that, I don't see it.
You might have a pop-up block. Do you have a pop-up block on your,
I don't think so. Sometimes you have to like stop share and reshare. Try that.
So can you click on that?
Oh, he might not.
Yeah, I have the-
That's what- He's not seeing this.
Oh. Hold on. She's resharing it. Do you see it now?
Yep, that's better.
Perfect. Okay. So I'll go through that real fast again. You're gonna just scroll down to page 6 for me. It shows the total amount for W-2, the 55,8. Which is weird because I'm checking my 1040 against these numbers today and they're all the same. So I truly have no idea what's going on right now.
The two W-2s combined gives you a 55.8.
Yep. It's literally all the same numbers. I don't know. I don't
We
understand.
did this last week and Marie was here and it was the same scenario. We
Yeah.
checked number line by line.
And it's all the
same
same and everybody had something different. So I don't know
We
what's
closed
going on.
out of, actually, we closed out of our practice lab and came back in it and then it readjusted and it was correct.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we're
Yeah.
like, okay, whatever.
So then if you look at line 12, that's their standard
Not-
deduction, which is 27.7. That comes off the income. So then what we're going to do is your taxable the 27.7 comes off, their taxable income is the 32,200. That's what they're responsible on taxes. If you go to page 7, it breaks down your tax, what you're liable for federal. So they technically should have paid $3,427 between the two of them on their W-2s to the federal government. They got child tax credit. They also, that 1,900, like I was explaining, is the $500 for Oliver plus the American Opportunity. They put it on a separate line. And then you subtract that, bringing their total tax liability down to 0. They have no tax liability.
And when we're putting it in.
This will automatically auto-populate for you.
Yeah.
This is something that it does automatically. So if you keep on going down, you're gonna
I
see,
have an earned income credit on line 27.
yeah, and I don't. So I like,
That's what happened the other, that's what
That's-
happened last week. It didn't give you your earned income.
so I'm not entirely sure why, they should, based off from their taxable income, they should have gotten an earned income credit.
We got it when we shut your system down and brought it back up.
But,
this time, something.
Yeah, something's wrong with the software, like I was stating, which is probably why my numbers and some of them are matching your guys's and some of them are not.
Now it's all it's part of my husband, when he does he's recording
It
something,
becomes,
depending on whatever it is.
Where does it show then?
Effective, the Zoom will like effective recording and then.
it's
it won't
later
happen.
pages.
So, it could, I don't know, that's.
I don't understand, because I'm literally looking at my numbers and I got an earned income credit yesterday, which should have been $731, and it is no earned income credit today. So that's the only thing that's changed on my end. So Bob, did you get $731 for an earned income credit?
Yes.
Yep.
Did the other guy come up with the Zoom, like the same numbers?
Colby, what did you get on line 27?
I got a no.
Okay, see, yep. And you should have an earned income credit there of $731. Yeah, so right now we're half and half, so I do apologize here.
When you close out, save and exit later, and you come in, open it up and later, when you do other practice labs, it may readjust itself.
Yeah, I'm not entirely positive, but like Sharon was saying the other day when I got out and signed out and then signed back in and got back into it, it actually readjusted itself to the correct amount. So right now, technically, the amount of federal that they should be getting is $8,646. That's what I got with the earned income credit. That's what you guys should have. I don't have that because if you add $731 is $7,915, it'll give me there's just credits missing. I don't understand what the system's doing. They should have a refund of $8,646. There's things that are missing and I just am not understanding why. So I apologize. This is how you're gonna find some of your 1040 answers, just so you know, on your practice labs. If it says page, I don't know, 12, line 7. That's where you're gonna find it, okay? Just, you have to go into that view print and then pull up that PDF of the 1040 to be able to see all the pages like I just showed you. If you scroll all the way to page,
Way down.
yeah,
There.
to page 21, that's your New York State. That's where you're gonna find the New York State credits. My New York State is obviously not working correctly. So we're gonna go ahead and go scroll down to page 24, and you will see amount you want applied to your 2024, your refund, or what you owe. Technically, it's saying I shouldn't be owing, should actually be getting a refund of $246. So right here.
Go back to 272, I don't see any college credit. Is that a college credit?
There is a college credit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what.
I don't understand what's going
It happened
on.
on the earned income tax credit.
Is that a 272 in there when you go to?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was EIC, it happened last time. The exact same thing happened last. week.
Yeah,
We had half the room
It's
as one and
not.
half the room as the other one. It was weird.
okay.
Okay, I gotta go back in and share the screen.
Yeah, you got to.
I gotcha.
It clicked me out. Sorry,
That's
guys.
okay.
This one. All right, yes. I don't know why I said that.
Okay.
All right, so I want to see something because I think Ralph was right. I don't think on my state, my college tuition credit was coming up, even though it should. Because I marked it correct.
Did you say your state refund was 246? Mine is 46.
No, we just had 46. What's that one on that one?
246. You should have a state refund of 246.
Cause they should have $100 per child too.
Yeah, so 2 of the kids have $100 credit. So it should automatically, no, it should
No,
be
it should be
246.
Somehow,
And somehow whatever,
credit didn't come in.
Oh,
right,
it didn't come into anybody's.
right. It's not coming into anybody's, but it should be 246 because you get $100
The
per
two
kid.
kids- Right, the 2 credits are not coming through, the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit are not coming through on some of these things, like.
Where are
half
the
of the room
qualified
didn't
expenses
get
for an
child
undergraduate
tax credit,
tuition?
the other half of the room didn't get either credit.
Ah,
So something is going on, and like I said, this is not. the
This is not-
actual
yeah,
practice lab
I don't-
Program, this is the practice lab, and I think they've got some bugs they're working out.
See, now it's saying I have a credit of $227, but it should be $246. I literally just did this yesterday. It's the software. We're all getting different answers. We're all getting different refunds. It's definitely
We
the
will walk you
software.
through the other stuff when we get through the other ones.
I do want to state that I have actually physically been on TaxSlayer and it is not like this. I'm a.
When you say it's not like this, it doesn't
It's
make
correct.
that
It's
error.
correct.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
the pictures and everything.
Everything else is the same,
Yeah.
but the errors.
So please don't let this scare you off. Please let this.
Okay, so what I do want to reiterate, please, because I took my testing before they did all this updating. When you do your practice labs, please, please, please call, email. We have the answers. If they are so far off, I'm gonna go over things with you.
Okay.
Because if this is coming up wrong for all of us, I don't know if you're gonna get the same answers that I got on my practice labs for the testing. So please, the actual test.
So we tell you in their booklet,
So please just call and make sure that they're right, because it could be wrong and it's not your fault and you did it right.
So when you have
please
your,
call.
when your booklet, go ahead and answer in the booklet. I'm gonna show answer in the booklet here. You can take a picture, send it to us, say, hey, I'm ready to do my basic or whatever. You send the test to us in the booklet. We'll go through it and look at it before you enter it in there and we'll say, hey, you need to look at number 8, you know, we'll walk you through why you're not getting maybe the right answer or something, but
Something is just weird about this and I
I
apologize.
think most of us did okay on the test, but just to make sure.
Yeah.
They didn't ask like crazy things.
So this is the end of the return. This is where you would choose direct deposit or paper return. You're gonna just hit continue until you get to this page. So it's gonna be, e-file direct deposit. This is gonna be e-file direct deposit. So this is important. You see that taxpayer's PIN and the spouse's PIN? You gotta write those down. We do need those. So on a piece of paper, go ahead and write those down for me. So normally we found out that it's typically 1 in the last 4 of their social. So.
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna go ahead and hit continue. This means nothing for you guys. This just says that we're a free site. They don't pay anything. Hit continue.
Did you get, how we want the federal refund?
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry.
direct deposit. You're gonna hit checking account for bank type. You're gonna, on that front, it said ABC Bank. So go ahead and put that in there. You're gonna hit that pull refund button. It automatically pulls the refund.
They have to pay. They don't have it.
Go ahead. And this is the routing number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oop, 8, 9. I copy, like, so if the routing number is there, just so I don't make a mistake, I just copy and paste it into the next routing one, just so there's no mistake. Cause they have to recheck their routing and account numbers before they leave here. So 963-852-7410, that's the account number. Yeah, e-file direct deposit. Yep, and then continue past that little. Yeah, we don't charge a fee, so just hit continue, and
It's
that's,
just built in because this software is also used for when if people who have to pay for it and stuff like that. you
Yep.
know? Like if you're over there 79.
so let's say they have multiple bank accounts. You would have to split that refund and you would just put it in here and just split it between, you would have to manually split whatever they want.
It's what? Form 8 later.
That's if you,
What's the refund?
yeah.
We can actually do a full refund.
So you're just gonna click down to the bottom and hit continue. Something's wrong. I did, 0, 1 through 12. It's giving me, it's not a real routing number. I don't know. It's giving me what did I put there? 1, 1, 2, 2, 5. No, it's not working.
Oh, it's not?
It's telling me no. Oh, I think that worked. If you're getting like an error,
Oh, so you can look up and put M&T.
Yeah.
Or I just make fictitious numbers again, because we're using fake people, fake everything.
I don't know, the routing number is not real, so it's not letting us go through. No, it's not real. It's not letting us do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah.
Might have to start with a 0.
No, try it again.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look,
0, 2.
Table reverse.
You can.
Yeah, see, I put the real M&T bank.
and it went through. Yeah.
What is the real?
I have a real routing number handy if you'd like.
Yeah.
We're supposed to use fictitious stuff, I gotta say, otherwise the IRS will pull this off the website.
Yeah,
So
so
try 021-123-456.
021-123-456. If not, there's a way we can bypass this. I'd rather not, but
And try, you gotta do it again.
'Cause
Did it
I'm
like
tr-
that one?
I'm trying. Nope.
You could just search, on Google the.
Right.
But we can't do that because of YouTube. We have to have fake.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do and say,
Just
Is your
put it
con-
in number that we can make it work. for-
okay, it's not gonna go through. It's not real. It's not gonna let us. So hit back.
Well, routing numbers aren't secret. Account numbers are secret, but accounting numbers or
Yeah.
routing numbers are public.
Let's go for that. All right, give me a,
All right, go ahead with the routing number. We're not.
021-000-322.
So 021.
000-322.
Yep,
Bank of
Okay.
America.
thank you.
Thank you. It didn't used to have this issue. I
I know.
I wonder if it's recognizing institutions on things now. Yeah, they must have changed things up on it. Yeah, so they have to put it in.
So we're gonna hit continue. Mine is still not. Here we go. So this is where you would put their driver's license number in. We don't have a driver's license for them on this one.
Yeah, I can
Um,
put it on.
No, so
We require them to. print
Yeah.
their ID.
we require them, but for this purposes, okay, you're right. Yes, we're gonna do that. But we want a driver's license, so their number would go here, their issue date, the state, the expiration. And then once you do that, there's gonna be a little pop-up that comes up down here. That's that 3-letter digit code on the back of the license. So you gotta put it there, okay? We're just gonna hit no driver's license. So we can keep going because we're past time here. So remember those numbers that I had you write out in the beginning, those taxpayer IDs? So the primary is 11234, that's the husband. The secondary pin is the wife, and that's the 1, and then 4 zeros. 4. And then the primary date is the day that you do it, today, okay? This is so that their information can be stored in our system for 3 years. So if they come next year, I'll pull forward their stuff. We'll hit continue. Continue. This is that yellow form where it says if you speak really good English on that 3rd page, you're just gonna say very well, not if they said prefer not to answer. If they have a disability, yes, no, maybe so. They don't in this case. They are not part of the armed forces. They're white. Your spouse's race, she looks white. Your ethnicity, if they're not Hispanic, if they are. For both. Were they here during the entire present return and quality review? No. And then this is a sample. Select one of the sample question. You don't have to. We have our own here. It asks if they can read, if they can understand English. There's a few extra hours are specific to our site. If you go ahead and hit continue, we're at the end. Well, I'll hit continue one more time. Normally you'd be at the end. For peace, if you scroll down, you see these return tags right here. We have one that says ready for review. You're going to click that and you're also going to click mark text return ready for review. That alerts me to go ahead and get in there and review the tax return. And then if as the reviewer, I'd go in, review it. If it's a-okay, I'm going to click there. I'm going to click here, and it's all done. But Obviously, we're just ready for review, so that's what we're gonna put. And we're all done with that, that tax return.
Well, yeah. no, but-
I'm gonna try to see if there's some way we can submit something to the practice lab
So happy,
to try to see if they can get this correct, because there's no reason that we all have the same information. It's all true and correct, and we're all coming up with different answers.
so now-
This is clearly a software issue. Okay.
So we've said a review.
Yep, save and exit.
So
Remember, let's say you're in that practice lab and you gotta
Yeah.
hit select.
We'll go through that process. but then
That's
everybody-
how you get back into it. You just find who it is and go from there. I'm actually gonna come in tomorrow and redo this practice lab to see if I get the same answers, if it comes up with something different. This is the oddest thing that I've ever gone through.
I know.
I've never experienced this in the 6 years that I've been here.
Especially when we've gone line to line. We did that, remember we went, okay, what number do you have? What number do you have? So,
So Sharon does want to finish up with you guys,
It'd be 2 seconds.
and then we're all done.
I think we're all done. Close, close, close. I'm working on it.
I apologize, guys, really, and everything else.
So you see the what's next page? Okay, so what's next? I don't know what's next. Here we go. So what's next? Additional practice labs are located on the website in that piece training page. We have practice lab B and we have practice lab A. Run through it yourself, join us for other sessions. The schedule's also on that website, which is a Peace Incorporated website. Review the videos from past training on your YouTube. Visit our site, work from here. Please feel free to come on in. We have dual monitors. You can do them at home. You have any questions, we'll walk you through on things. Oops, take your certifications. You have to take your standards of conduct, your intake and interview, your basic. Contact your VITA site where you plan on volunteering, schedule your hours, get specifics for that location. You'll have to provide them with that 13615, that one's proving where you, before you can do any tax returns. So yeah, let him know you, it's proving that you passed and what certification level you are. And that's it. Thank you. Thanks for bearing with us on that one because